On today's show, anglers drop their fishing gear and pick up trash bags.
Just respect the property.
A North Shore cleanup in honor of one of Lake Superior's most beloved fish.
Appears to be a male steelhead.
We visit a Northwoods company buzzing with business. And a brand new walleye recipe worth whipping up on your next fishing trip.
Minnesota Bound. Brought to you by Minnesota's Select GMC dealers.
Hey everybody, Bill and I welcome you to Minnesota Bound.
You know, so often you hear Lake Superior anglers talk about steelhead. Those are migrating rainbow trout that move in and out of the river's tributaries.
And a small group of anglers called the Minnesota Steelheaders vowed to protect the fish and the pretty places they live.
Even if it means getting out of bed on a cold Saturday morning. Fishing breeds passion. Passion leads to motivation. On this morning, incentive comes from a hot dose of caffeine.
First of all, thanks for coming out. My name is Davin Brandt. I'm the president of Minnesota Steelheader. We found everything. People's trash bags.
Davin Brandt gears up for a small crowd of niche Northwoods anglers.
We've got some safety vests. Everyone's got to have one of these safety vests on up at the highway.
Catchers who become pickers.
Any and all garbage.
All kinds of stuff. Glass bottles, coffee cups.
It's usually stuff that ends up either blown onto the back of trucks or people maybe blatantly just throw it out in the highway. So
volunteers walk the highway and the woods along Lake Superior's Sucker River, a watery haunt home to some of Minnesota's best fishing. Which is kind of why these people showed up. See, most belong to Minnesota Steelheaders.
We're very ill.
A small conservation group
Never had it, never will.
focused on steelhead trout and the water where those fish live.
you join because you want to help. You know, you want to be able to give back. So this was a great avenue for anglers to be able to come and volunteer and to be able to spend a little bit of time to help.
Sam Hendrickson crawled out of bed early, a 12-year-old who gets it.
Just pick up your trash and don't just say, oh, drop something on the ground, and just respect the property, because this property is pretty much letting you fish here.
All of this stuff belongs in a landfill, not our wild spaces. End of story. Okay, not really. Volunteers also work alongside biologists on fish research.
So what we've got here is a steelhead rainbow trout. This particular fish was actually tagged at the Knife River. Now this one is kind of a unique fish because it already has another tag in it. Ontario tagged this fish last year in a river up near Thunder Bay. So this one moved quite a ways.
Non-native steelhead first showed up in Lake Superior in the late 1800s. Those fish transported and introduced from rivers along the Pacific coast. The population always seems to fluctuate. Even now, anglers cannot legally keep steelhead. No matter.
What we have here is a really nice, it appears to be a male steelhead.
They still covet each catch, and more importantly, each release.
I mean, these things are just amazing fish.
So I think it's one of the best fighting fish we have in the state.
And a fish worth fighting for, even one piece of trash at a time.
It's good to get it out.
It's important to make sure that we leave any place that we go better than we found it.
Coming up, find out what the buzz is all about at this Northwoods company.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by Minnesota Select GMC dealers, Alumacraft, Radco Truck Accessories, and by Connecticut.
Welcome back to the show. It's no secret that honeybees are currently in a bit of trouble, and that's exactly why one Minnesota company is busy as bees. Ron Schara has the story.
Once a year in Hackesack, Minnesota, this warehouse, sorry this will sting a little, is very, very busy. Tomorrow is Bee Day in Hackensack. That's when Man Lake, a bee product company, invites Minnesotans to replenish their hives with honeybees trucked from California.
Tomorrow we'll be looking at 700 to 900 people coming in here to get their bees. Controlled chaos at times. I mean, there's just lines of people, but everyone's excited to get their bees. So every package comes with a queen. This cannon here is filled with a sugar water, so that while they're traveling, they can feed. Yeah, we got 1,750 packages.
Tomorrow comes and the place starts buzzing.
Oh, this is Bee Day. This is what brings it full circle. This is actually the livestock that people take home and install in their hives. They are usually gardeners or have some real interest in the environment and want to make sure that they have some honeybees for pollination of their gardens, of their apple trees, of all their fruit trees. That's really the number one point of keeping honeybees. The honey is the byproduct.
These bees come from California for a reason.
We have quite a few varieties of native bees. Those are really good to have, but they are not your real efficient pollinators like your bumblebee. Actually bumbles around, and it might go from an apple blossom to a clover blossom. The honeybees send out their little scout bees in the morning, and they decide what kind of blossom those bees are going to work that day.
They're kind of amazing what a bee can do, how much work they do, how much pollinating, how they communicate with each other, telling each other where pollen is, nectar is. It's pretty amazing.
Besides pollination, beekeepers also understand something else about honeybees.
Einstein said many years ago that if the honeybee disappears, the earth will start dying within a 5-year time period. When 1 out of every 3rd bite of food we eat is a direct result of honeybee pollination, this whole world should care about honeybees.
Indeed, honeybees across America are in trouble. Beekeepers reported losing more than 40% of their hives from April 2015 to April 2016. Farm pesticides and a lethal bee parasite are blamed.
To see exactly what's killing them, I mean, pesticides is huge, but it's part of our agriculture, so I don't know how we get around that. But planting, wild flowers, wild bee forage, it helps quite a bit.
Well, if you ever think that you're environmentally aware, keeping bees will make you that much more so.
Author Muriel Barbary once wrote, "We think we can make honey without sharing in the fate of bees, but we are in truth nothing but poor bees, destined to accomplish our task and then die. Best we celebrate more bee days."
Still ahead, we sneak off to the kitchen for a fish camp favorite. And later, we head back to Lake Superior to capture pure beauty, one brushstroke at a time.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Minnesota Rebat.
extra special day here at Wild in the Kitchen because we are cooking up a crowd favorite. And I'm here with Chef Kevin Cabalson from Fire Lake Grill House and Cocktail Bar. And Chef Kevin, I see walleye in front of us, and you know what that means. Everybody smiles when they see walleye, don't we? So what are we making today?
We're doing a wild rice crusted walleye.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Is the wild rice also native to Minnesota?
Yeah, another native ingredient, yeah.
Fantastic. So what do we do to get started? Our first step?
Grab the wild rice, we're gonna toast it.
Okay, so we're gonna toast it first.
Yeah, so we're gonna put this into 400-degree oven for 8 minutes.
And what does toasting do?
It brings out a little bit of the natural nuttiness of the wild rice.
All right, 8 minutes?
8 minutes has gone by. The wild rice is rested, it's come up to about room temp, so now we can throw it in the blender.
Fantastic. How easy is this to make your own homemade flour?
Yeah,
Love it. Gluten-free. Jinx.
Oh yeah, you know it's working.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Look at that.
That looks good.
And wild rice is actually a grass and not a grain, right?
Correct.
For those paleo eaters there.
Not technically rice. And we're gonna add a little Old Bay right into that. All right, Laura, now we're ready to pass that through our strainer.
Throwing it through the strainer to prevent what?
Just to get out any big chunks that may have been left behind. So you're just getting a nice fine powder here.
And now we're just left with the flour.
Yep. All right, so if you want to grab a plate.
Voila.
Voila, there's our flour.
Okay.
Okay, Laura, we're gonna make the chimichurri sauce now.
Excellent.
We're gonna pulse up our parsley.
Parsley.
That's about a cup. This is about 3 tablespoons fresh oregano.
Fresh oregano.
About 1.5 tablespoons chopped garlic.
Yeah, garlic, we love that.
2 teaspoons chili flake. 2 tablespoons red wine vinegar. And some olive oil. That is 3 tablespoons olive oil.
Oh, yeah. I think we're good.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Now we are going to fillet the fish, or rather take the skin off.
Take the skin off, and you were telling me that you prefer to use a what kind of knife?
A little bit duller of a knife, yeah. It makes it easier because you're not gonna cut right through the skin. Now we're ready to flour the fish.
Homemade wild rice flour.
Yeah, we're gonna do both sides of the fish, so go ahead and just plop them right on there.
Dust it. Look at that.
All right, now we're ready to go to our pan. So we wanna lay the fish away from us.
Perfect.
So we don't splash ourselves.
Always.
Completely optional here, but you can throw in some butter.
Chef Kevin, butter is never optional. We know this.
So we're ready to plate, Laura.
Sounds good. Now we're talking.
Yeah. And if you want to take some of that chimichurri sauce that you made,
drizzle it on top?
Yeah, drizzle it right on over.
Generously, or?
Yeah, a little bit, and then you can put a little on the side so you can dip it in. And then I've got a little salad here, watercress and fresh radish.
All right, Chef Kevin, I'm going in for taste. I can't tell you how excited I am about this one. So much flavor. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Another easy gourmet shore lunch idea, just in time for walleye season. Nice job.
Yeah, thank you.
Straight ahead, one man's passion for trout translates to a blank canvas.
Minnesota Bound is brought to you by the Yard maintenance-free outdoor furniture, Running Aces Casino and Racetrack, Bent Creek Golf Club Eden Prairie, and by Totem Resorts, the premier destination for world-class fishing.
Today's Minnesota Bound Classic takes us back 10 years to the Brule River, where we discovered the art behind Lake Superior steelhead. Way up on Minnesota's North Shore, away from the crowds,
You're gonna have to stay up here, dog.
moving water speaks. Long ago, local fisherman Tim Pearson vowed to always listen.
Some of the coolest fish are drawn to moving water, like trout and steelhead and salmon.
Each spring, as our snow and ice melt, Minnesota's rivers come alive.
You never know if the fish are gonna be there, and you're just in constant search of them.
Steelhead trout migrate into the rivers, and so does Tim. Same time, same places,
love the feel of cold water in my waders, and I don't know, it's just something unexplainable, I think.
Tucker, Tim's fishing buddy, always comes along too.
Yeah, he does.
Tim sort of considers himself a bit sentimental, caught up in the classic process of fly fishing.
It's pretty, you know.
He believes in the art of a simple cast.
I don't know, I can't explain the feeling I get when I cast it. It's just very relaxing.
And waist deep, Tim finds his connection to our natural world.
I feel like I am doing everything to make that fly come to life.
It's all kind of hard to explain.
The wind's everywhere.
Until this happens.
It's a moment of excitement and surprise. He's a nice fish. That initial grab is what you're looking for. Nice fish. Beautiful buck. For me, that's a true North Shore steelhead right there. Oh, it's gone. It's the only fly I have of that one too. Dang.
The profound experience of chasing chrome-colored fish moved Tim to turn his art into something more than the perfect cast.
I feel when I catch a fish my way, it just inspires me to paint that situation.
And paint he does.
It just makes sense with fish in water. I mean, to use watercolor, so. You don't think about it much, you just paint and let the water just do what it's supposed to do. It's my favorite way to paint.
In front of the living room window, Tim's fishing memories come alive.
I've been just itching to get this one done.
Tim paints the fish he pursues. Spring steelhead along Lake Superior. The trout he tricks during summers as an Alaskan guide. Even smallmouth bass from Tim's fall season back home in Minnesota.
I really like to do a lot of close-up work. I like faces, I like fish faces, I like bird faces. I just like a lot of detail and close-up.
Not bad for a guy who never really played by the rules of the art game.
I know there's kind of some set rules to the way people paint, and I don't know, I just never went to school for it.
What makes me tick? I love the pure wildness of the North Shore.
It is a love expressed.
Big fish.
Each time a big fish hits our flies.
Oh, that's a nice fish.
Oh, man.
That is a nice fish. That is one ticked off fish. He is angry. Oh, boy, he just cracked it too. Wham, man. Oh, man. That is a beaut. There we go. Look at that beauty. Woo! Oh my God, look at that fish. Oh man. Nice, wild, North Shore, Minnesota steelhead. This is the kind of fish that inspires me to paint the way I do. I mean, look at the head. I mean, there's just no marks on it. We're able to kind of trick them into taking our flies, and just to hold them is amazing.
Even more so to see that chrome slide back into water unharmed.
That's beautiful, man.
Yes, this is why Tim paints. He fishes and he guides.
I don't know, someday maybe I'll just be an artist, but right now I am a fishing artist, and both kind of go together.
And for Tim, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's great.
Tim still paints, and you can find his work in North Shore galleries.
Well, that wraps it up for us today, but we'll see you back next week.
In the meantime, don't forget to introduce a kid to the great outdoors.
Transportation provided by Premier Transportation. Call 1-800-899-7433. To get more Minnesota Bound, including full episodes, go to mnbound.com. And to follow our latest adventures, like us on Facebook.